Today's just a heavy spray day. This one actually looks like an X over the sunset. There's two other ones underneath it.
Right there in the sky is one of the biggest chemtrails I've ever seen over Austin, Texas. Now, we know a lot about the geoengineering program, the kind of people that are involved in it. It's been discussed at the national level. It's been discussed at the international level, the CFR. A lot of people have mentioned it. It's been proposed as a solution to global warming and climate change and other things. But what are we really being acclimated to? Because this is certainly not just the leftover trail of a plane's flight path. Just to interject with a little bit of documentation, there's the Council on Foreign Relations Geoengineering Workshop on a Unilateral Planetary Scale. John P. Holdren, the famed White House czar right here, talking about large-scale geoengineering projects designed to cool the Earth and how they are conceivable. Here is one of many branches of government research, the Indirect and Semi-Direct Aerosol Campaign, that relates to weather modification at the Climate Research Facility, ARM. Here's an article from TRUTHstreammedia. Chemtrails anyone, CIA funds $630,000 for global climate control study. And here's an interesting article. Sunshade to fight climate change costed at $5 billion a year to do planetary atmospheric geoengineering. Planes being the easiest and cheapest method, but they may also use large guns and rockets, and they have a few other kind of crazy ideas. Variations of solar radiation management, even though they admit it could mess up weather patterns, it could change global rain. This is a gigantic, persistent aerosol with chemical compounds in it. They have some that are used for farming, and others, well, we can just ask pertinent questions, can't we? But we certainly shouldn't deny what is very blatant in the sky. That is not a cloud. There are clouds over there, but that is not a cloud.
I mean, I don't know how anybody's supposed to look at this and not ask themselves if it even looks normal. I mean, how are we supposed to look at this and think that it looks normal? I mean, there's nothing normal about this.
Here is a House of Commons report on the regulation of geoengineering in 2009-2010, and they talk about page 5. In the future, geoengineering techniques could allow a single country to unilaterally affect the climate. And second, some, albeit very small scale, geoengineering testing is already underway. Repeat, geoengineering testing is already underway. This is now admitted. In the 2013 United States Congressional Research Service report, Geoengineering Governance and Technology Policy, they also admit in the summary that if deployed, the technologies could modify the Earth's climate on a large scale. Moreover, it's already been done. These new technologies may become available to foreign governments or to entities in the private sector to use unilaterally without authorization from the government or international treaties, and was already done in the summer of 2012 ocean fertilization experiment off the coast of Canada. The Haida Gwaii, the world's biggest geoengineering experiment, violates UN rules, and it's a businessman who dumped iron fertilization, about 100 tons of it, off the coast into the water to create plankton blooms that he says are beneficial and will rein in global warming and climate change. Whether or not that has merit, he did so without any government approval, not at the international level or at the national level. He said basically that it was a joke for them to suggest that the international treaties about ocean dumping or about the Convention on Biological Diversity, you know, the treaty that doesn't exist that's behind Agenda 21, he laughed those off and said they don't apply to him. And so now they call Rush George a rogue geoengineer. He indeed tried to geoengineer the ocean. Are they doing that in the sky? Is someone privately doing that? We haven't been told, but we do know that people like Bill Gates are rolling out their big bucks for climate scientists to study large-scale geoengineering projects. He's bankrolling it, and it's admittedly going on according to UK reports, American government reports, and some other rich a-hole has already dumped it in the ocean. What are they dumping in our skies?
This is a fresh chemtrail being laid across the sky right now in a giant X. This one, earlier, we already got a shot of. It's spray day. That is crazy. The sky looks like something out of the Never-Ending Story right now. I mean, this was a chemtrail a second ago. It's huge, it's fanned out everywhere, and it just looks amazing. And then there's these two here going into that. There's a bunch down at the horizon. Wow. I feel like the luck dragon is about to fly out of this shit.
We just witnessed two planes deliberately crossing paths to create this intersecting persistent chemtrail.
It's a gigantic X across the entire sky. It goes back so far. And that's right after we saw several planes fly over and their trails disappeared. These two stayed. So did those. And so did all these ones at the horizon. They've been spraying all day. It's crazy X.
As you can see, they cross the intersection at the same time, so it's not even a question about the flight paths. They're creating these designs so it'll spread out.
It's just crazy.
Population control. Anybody?
Nothing about this is atmospheric conditions.